I saw the Persian version. The Persian version is a quasi-biographical, autobiographical film from the filmmaker. Her character is a different name, and I'm sure some things have been turned around and embellished or whatever. But if you've seen the trailer for it, you would think that it's a movie about a Persian lesbian who gets knocked up by a drag queen. And while that event doesn't indeed happen in the movie, the trailer like really heavily focused on it, when that's actually a very like incidental part of the plot. This movie is actually a story about living between worlds and dealing with generational traumas and the ways that those traumas echo and the ways that the different generations are connecting with each other and clashing with each other. It's primarily a story about her and her mom and their complicated relationship, the ways that they run parallel to each other, and the ways that they clash with each other. The movie is told in a pretty non-linear format, and some of it kind of like assumes that you know a little bit about the filmmaker, and I like looked her up later. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but I guess she has made some like Iranian American films before and has made, you know, some waves in like the indie circuits. I've been noticing a lot lately that a lot of movie trailers these days are really trying to sell movies as more comedies than they actually are. Like last week I reviewed Freelance, which is billed as an action comedy with John Cena, but I watched it and it's not a comedy. And the Persian version, there's definitely funny things in this movie, but I would say it's more of a drama than it is comedy. And just know that going into it, but it is a story of the ways that cultural expectations on women, both in Iran and in America, try to force them into boxes, and the way that these women try to press against those boxes and move outside those boxes, and ways that, you know, traumas can be compounding and repeating and echoing, but also ways that we can recognize those traumas and work to get past them. And I can understand why the film was advertised as like a rom-com between this Persian lesbian and a straight guy who's a drag queen, but that's really a very minor part of the movie. And I just think I would recommend seeing this movie. I thought it was quite good, but I would recommend that you go into it not with the expectation that it's just going to be a silly movie about a lesbian who gets knocked up by a straight guy, because that is not what the film is really about. I will say that as an indie film, there are some pretty noticeably amateurish moments in it. There is a scene early on where the main character runs into her ex-wife at the grocery, and she like tries to hide from her ex-wife by she like grabs like a Halloween mask and puts it on to try and hide, but her ex-wife just like, she recognizes her and she's like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to hide from me? But then like almost all of the conversation happens where we're looking at the main character in the Halloween mask, and her ex-wife is delivering dialogue from off camera, and it's very obviously ADR'd, and the sound mix is bad, and everything that she says is from inside the mask. And so it feels like they wrote that scene in a completely different way and then decided to rework it in the edit bay without doing reshoots. So all of the dialogue was ADR'd, and so like so much of that scene we just don't even see her ex-wife talking, we just hear her from behind the thing. And there was also a moment toward the end of the film where she has snuck away from her brother's wedding because she's in labor, and then they all find out she's in labor, so they all run over to the hospital and they do like a slow-mo running scene. And I don't know if it was deliberate that they told all of the actors to like act like you're running in slow-mo rather than filming it in slow-mo, but it looked kind of bad and cheesy there, and it wasn't clear whether it was intentionally cheesy or whether it was just an amateurish thing. But little technical details like that I noticed that I don't think really take away from the film itself. They were just pretty glaring issues that I noticed just with the technical execution of some parts of the film. I don't think they take away from the totality of it. but I would recommend giving this one a watch. I don't know how much longer it's in theaters because it's an indie film, and you know, those tends to come and go, and you might be able to catch it on streaming. But I'd give this one a watch.
Hey, thanks for watching. I'm trying to get my channel monetized, so your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like, and subscribe, and ring the bell. I stream Mondays and Fridays at 5 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m., so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons with a very special shout out to my Whale Shark tier patron Ryan D and my Anemone Friend tier patron Piftle Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.